Hello, my name is Haley Patera, and I just finished up my internship for the fall 2017 semester, and I did it at Centerpoint Counseling in Rexburg, Idaho. I found the internship by really just Googling it. I just looked up counseling places in Rexburg, and it was one of the first to come up, so I called them, and they were looking for someone. And then later that summer, I was able to interview with them over Skype, which I really enjoyed because they were really accommodating to my circumstances of not being in Rexburg. And the interview was really great and really thought out, and I thought they did a great job at that. And then I stayed in contact with one of the managers over email throughout the summer, and she was able to tell me what I was able to do and when they needed me to start and everything. My responsibilities in the internship, the first one that I can think of that I did most was scanning ORS and SRS sheets. And those sheets are what a client fills out at the beginning and the end of their session. So there are a lot of those sheets. And they just rank the session on how they felt at the beginning and then at the end and how they feel the therapist did. The next one is call clients and calling new clients. So calling clients, I just meant making sure that they're coming in for their appointment, dealing with their billing, which can sometimes be confusing on the phone. And so with this, it was really a learning curve for me, because on the phone I felt like I really needed the answer like right then, and I didn't know any of the answers at the beginning. And then with new clients, that just means scheduling their first appointment, their intake appointment it's called, and getting as much information as you can over the phone. So their birthday, address, social security number, all kinds of things, insurance information. And so you get that all on the phone. And calling on the phone really took me a while to get comfortable doing, just because I wasn't confident in knowing the information the clients were wanting. The next one is attending meetings. And so at Centerpoint Counseling, every Thursday at noon, they had a staff meeting. And so this wasn't all of the staff, it was just the two supervisor therapists and the office staff. And we would meet for about 2 hours and discuss like the needs of clients, the needs of the office, what needed to change or what needed to run more smoothly. And again, they were really accommodating with my schedule because I was also in 2 classes, and they changed it all around so I could be there. And Jeff, the supervisor, is amazing, and he really made it so I could attend those meetings because I learned so much from them. So the next one, research therapy programs. I only did this once for a client who wasn't really capable of doing it herself. And when I say therapy programs, I meant like facilities for someone who is either in danger of hurting someone else, has broken the law, needs addiction recovery, those kind of things. And so I was able to research those for her in Southeast Idaho and some in Utah, for her son to attend because she just wasn't mentally capable of doing that. And that was one way I was able to help with counseling, I felt. And I know she really appreciated that. The next one is my favorite, attending therapy sessions. So we can't do this legally without a client's permission because we aren't qualified. And so I was able to attend 3 therapy sessions, and Jeff, the therapist, just asked the client if they would be okay with me sitting in, and the people he chose were really nice about it and knew that they were helping me out. And so Jeff just had me sit in the first one. He had me sit kind of in the corner, not really involved, and I was able to observe. And that is where I learned the most about therapy, is watching, which makes sense because you're right in it, watching it happen. You can listen to them ask questions, how they act, how they do everything, and it's great. And I learned a ton from it. And also with that, once a week, Jeff, my supervisor, scheduled an hour out of his time to meet with me and answer some of my questions. I could really ask him whatever I wanted, and this was one of my favorite times of the week for sure, because I could really ask him anything, and he's very easy to talk to, and I was able to be very honest with him. The next one, checking clients in and out. So this was fairly easy. When a client comes in, you'll just ask them why they're there and who they're seeing. And something that Centerpoint Counseling made very clear to me from the beginning, and I thought it was kind of interesting, is you do not want to ask how they're doing, because they're obviously not doing well if they're in counseling. And so you want to make them feel loved and important, but you don't want them opening up a ton to you. And if they do, it's okay. You want to validate their feelings, but you shouldn't ask for it. And so you'll check them in, give them the ORS sheet to evaluate how they're feeling, and then checking them out, you give them the SRS sheet and you charge them, and you set up a new appointment and meet any of their questions or needs. And then the next one is help with billing. And this part was pretty difficult because billing and insurance took a while for me to understand. Centerpoint actually brought in one of their old billing ladies to teach me about insurance, and that helped so much because I've never dealt with it. And she taught me a lot, just the basics of it, which was very helpful with dealing with clients and acting like I know what I'm doing. So those were my main responsibilities. And there were other little ones in there, but that was mainly what I would do during the week. Okay, so how did I benefit from the site I served at? So I grew a ton. That's a little vague, but I changed tons. I realized that what I want to specialize in is pornography addiction, because Centerpoint, once a week, they have a pornography addiction group therapy meeting, and I wasn't able to watch it because it's just for men, but I was able to talk to the therapist who led it, and it was amazing what they're able to do and how they're able to bring families together, and that is exactly what I want to do. And the next one was I gained reliable contacts. So this was what I wanted out of the internship from the beginning. I wanted people I could talk to about counseling and master's programs that would be reliable and have been through it themselves, and that's exactly what this provided. And I was able to see what therapy was really like. I wasn't in the classroom anymore learning about it from a book or hearing stories about it. I was there in it right when it was happening. And my favorite part was I got to ask specific questions, anything I wanted, which I loved. And so the next slide, how did you benefit personally from the experience? I now see mental illness in a whole different light. I've never struggled with it, but I feel like I just have a better glimpse of what someone's struggling with and how debilitating it can really be. And I grew a passion for trying to feel another person's, trying to feel how another person feels, and really coming down into the hole with them. And I just feel like I'm a lot more patient with mental illness because I can see it better. And I now have a plan for my future of what I want to do with my life and where I want to go to school. And I can really blame that on this internship. It really solidified my goals. The next slide. Describe one important connection between your coursework and what you experienced during your internship. And so my entire time during my internship, I couldn't stop thinking about one of my favorite classes I've taken on campus. It's called the Helping Relationship. And that class pretty much taught you how to be a counselor, just generally. It taught you how to ask provoking questions, how to, we studied like ethics and just ways we can make sure we're being appropriate with a client. And I just constantly thought of that class and made correlations between one another. And yes, I would definitely recommend this site to other students. It was amazing, and it's the people there that make it so amazing. And if you're interested in it, which you hopefully should be, here's the number you should call and just ask about an internship. They're always taking applications, and I know they'll prefer a phone call rather than an email. But I wish you well. Thank you very much.